where did the idea for 8 Sleep begin? What inspired you to launch this company?
Yeah, two things. First, I used to be an athlete, and so I have always been into performance and recovery. And I started wondering why Elon Musk is taking me to Mars, and I still spend a third of my life on a piece of dumb foam, while there is no technology enhancing my sleep performance. And so I started looking into that, and then I noticed there were a bunch of things that could be done, from tracking your health while you're asleep to improving your sleep performance with temperature.
And when did you launch 8 Sleep?
So the company launched in 2015. When we launched in pre-orders, we sold 8,000 units in pre-orders. But at that time, we had a different product that was more focused just on biometrics and tracking. But the pod, which is our current hero product, launched in mid-2019.
Awesome. And what were you doing as an athlete? Like, what's your sport?
Mainly tennis. So I was playing tennis when I was a teenager at competitive level, but I have been also a competitive skier. I race with cars. And yeah, literally any sport you can think of, probably I played that.
Yeah, how did you, I know that you're into Formula One. So how did you get into that? That's so cool. I don't think I've had anyone on the podcast that's into Formula One.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, my dad was what is called in motorsport a gentleman driver.
Okay.
So he was racing during the weekends, but he became Italian champion 2 times. And I was a kid, and I was going during the weekends to his races. So that's just how I picked up the passion. And so when I was a teenager, I figured out a way to start racing myself with go-karts. I also raced with some of the Formula One drivers in go-karting. Then I did European hill climbing. And then I did the 12 hours of Abu Dhabi with the Maserati GT.
That's so cool. Like, if I could do another career, that might be that career.
Yeah, that would be
I
cool.
love cars.
Me too. Yeah. Become a professional Formula One driver.
Yeah.
My wife always says, look, you like to be 2 things, the CEO of 8 Sleep or a Formula One driver.
It's a tough call. But so 8 Sleep is, 8 Sleep has been game changing for a lot of people. I'm sure that my listeners listen to Huberman Lab, and that's where I discovered 8 Sleep. And it's, as an athlete, we all know how important recovery is, and sleep is a huge part of that. So talk to me a little bit about that, and what you've learned and why this is a big part of 8 Sleep.
Yeah, so we have a clinical team, 100% focused on validating the results of what we do and developing our machine learning and AI models. And what we have seen in clinical studies is we can improve your sleep quality by up to 30%, 32%. We increase your deep sleep and REM, but even more interesting to see that we reduce your heart rate at rest by 1 to 2 heartbeats per minute, which is the equivalent of 3 months of training. And we can also increase your HRV by 10%. That is equivalent to the HRV you had 13 years ago. So so we can improve all your biometrics, your cardiovascular system, helping you to be younger or in better shape. And we improve your your sleep quality and deep sleep.
And you do this by having temperature control. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the pod is substantially a sensor layer, a cover that you can install on top of any mattress, right? So you don't need to change your mattress. You put this on top of that. And if you sleep with a partner, each side of the bed is completely independent, and it will do a couple of different things. The first one is it can track everything about your sleep and your biometrics. So sleep quality, deep sleep, REM, heart rate, HRV, all these kind of metrics. But the key difference compared to other wearables that you might have is based on this data, the pod adjusts automatically the temperature of each side of the bed. So if you sleep with a partner and you like it cold, you can have it really cold. Your partner can have it really hot, anywhere between 55 and 110 degrees. But what a lot of people don't know is sometimes you hear people saying, oh, I sleep at 68 degrees and because I like it cold. The reality is that is wrong. Your body temperature changes during the night. And so you don't need one single temperature. You need probably different temperature every 30 minutes or an hour. And that is what the pod does. It keeps changing the temperature based on your biometrics to maximize your sleep performance.
And are you using AI for that, or it's just yes, you are. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So we develop algos, AI, machine learning algos, where they keep learning for you and also from the overall user base. And based on these learnings, we adjust in real-time temperature to maximize your sleep performance. And now we have Lewis Hamilton and George Russell in Formula One using the product, ATP tennis players, NFL and NBA players, and a lot of people in Silicon Valley, some of the most famous entrepreneurs in the world, use the product as well.
So how does the temperature control adjust to your body as you enter input back into the app to kind of go back and forth with 8 Sleep as you're using the app and the pod cover, and then eventually it works and knows how you like to sleep?
Yeah, everything really happens automatically. I think that is one of the strengths of our product, right? You go to bed as you did for the rest of your life. The device will just be there tracking everything about your biometrics, nothing to wear, nothing to charge. Right. And based on your biometrics in real time, we'll adjust the temperature to make sure you get the best sleep. And the key point here is that we are reinventing the wheel. Your body temperature is already changing at night. So we are just facilitating a process, a physiological process that is already happening. We just make it smoother and more effective.
So how does temperature affect your REM or deep sleep versus light sleep?
Yeah, so usually in deep sleep, you need a colder temperature, for example, than in REM. There is plenty of medical evidence around this topic, and there is also plenty of medical evidence that thermoregulation improves your sleep. We're just the first company to really do it at scale with a consumer product. But again, this is part of our bodies, and it's something that every doctor knows. We just build the first tech device that can make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, there are sleep laboratories that exist, and I know that just like athletes go to special sports centers to do VO2 max testing and all of that, like they've been doing sleep testing for decades, and it's a very common problem that people have, like not being able to get good sleep. And sleep is so important, not just for athletes, for everyone, for recovery every day. And that's when our bodies kind of, do all the work that get us to be able to be successful during the day when we're awake. So I think it's amazing that you have created this product. I mean, it takes it further than just a wearable. It's almost like very immersed in everything that you do. So I think that's really cool. I've been working on my my deep sleep. My REM is getting better. And I think it's interesting because I love falling asleep when it's really hot, because it's cold in New York and we don't sleep with the room temperature very hot, so it's kind of, then waking up, it's also hot. So it makes it a little bit harder to get out of bed. But, it's nice. But I like the temperature, very small shifts that have happened since I've been using it for the last few weeks. And it's great because you don't have to buy a whole new mattress, but you do offer a mattress.
Yeah, we also offer the full mattress. But yeah, the most of the sales, they come through the cover just because it's simpler, right? You don't need to change your mattress. You don't need to convince your partner about changing it. Right. And we don't change the firmness. And so if you like what you have, just put our technology on top of it and make it smart.
Are you seeing more people now buying the pod covers versus the mattress? Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, and also internationally for us, it's easier. So actually outside the US, we sell only the cover. But even in the US, the cover is by far the most sold product.
This is great. I mean, it's really great, for my listeners. And I can't say enough good things about the pod cover because, especially for women, we have such different body temperatures than men. And I'm not saying that everybody listening is sharing the bed with a man, but I think it's great that, you can adjust it. The dual temperature zones have been really amazing.
Yeah, actually you touched a really important point that we are seeing becoming more and more relevant. So the physiology of women is way
Yeah.
more sophisticated than the one of men, right? And so
Right.
because of the period, the week before the period, there is an hormonal change in the body that makes often women feel hot. Then the same thing happens during pregnancy. And then the same thing with hot flashes will happen during
Right.
menopause. And
Yep.
so we are seeing that we are really becoming a painkiller for a lot of women because
Yeah.
they can use the product in each of these three different moments and find a lot of value out of that. So it's not even just the general sleep quality or general sleep performance. It's really, I really feel hot. I need to cool down, and this device can do it for me.
That's one thing that I noticed. Also, you know, I've had some really challenging workouts lately and my body has been super sore. So it's nice to kind of lay in the bed before going to sleep. And that really helps me with just like muscle pain and other things. So I think it's a huge win. What are what are some things that you like, how do you see it evolving, growing into 2023, like over the next 5 years?
Yeah. We have a lot of products coming. So step number one is obviously to double down on thermoregulation because we know it's so impactful for people of any age and gender. The next step will be also to double down on health. And so in 5 years from now, there will be a device that can do a full body scanning of your body every single night. And the reason why we are going there is I cannot accept that sometimes we discover to have health issues too late. Too late to the point where some of the things can even kill us. And so I always think of these 8 hours like a time that you are investing every day while in bed, and how can we optimize that time for you? So we are working on body scanning technologies to potentially scan your body in the near future and detect the early signs of cancer, cysts, and kidney stones. And in general, to do a sort of health checkup every single night.
That's really great. And talk to me a little bit about, you know, back to the Pod 3 cover and the actual product, like about the fitness score and what that takes into consideration. Yeah.
So we measure a lot of different things, right? The first thing, and then I'll answer in details to your question, but if you think our device is substantially has reached clinical grade accuracy, right? Meaning our accuracy at tracking your heart rate is 99% as good as the one of a EKG. And if you think it's pretty incredible of what technology is achieving, right? Because you don't have to wear anything. You just go to bed as you did for the rest of your life, but this thing is extremely accurate at tracking your heart rate.
It really is,
And so that is just amazing at the technological level, right? It's not even about sleep. But what we track is heart rate and HRV, which is heart rate variability. We track everything about your respiration. And then we track the sleep quality, deep sleep, REM, toss and turns. And so we really have already a sort of snapshot of your health every single day. Because most of the times when you look at health, it's not so much about the single day, but more than anything, are trends, right? And because of our form factor, once you install the product, you don't remove it, right? And even if you don't open the app, you're still using the product every single night unless you're traveling. And so where it becomes really valuable for some of our users is after a year, you really start seeing patterns. After 3 years, you will see more patterns, right? Your heart rate is going to change as you age. And in the future, through machine learning and AI, we will be able to start detecting potentially arrhythmia, atrial fibrillation, all these sort of diseases that maybe you don't have today, but you will develop tomorrow. Technology can go there. We're not there yet, but we have 99% chances to get there in the next few years.
It's incredible. It's so incredible. And you also, I really like your app. It's very user friendly. You have great content and articles that people have questions about the information that they're getting, like how to improve your deep sleep or meditation. So that's been really helpful. It was also it was fun to put on the bed. That's really cool. So what are you, during your process, were there any challenges that you had along the way with bringing this product to life? And, as an entrepreneur and a former athlete, where are you finding the parallels?
Yeah. I always say that being the CEO of a startup is probably the closest thing to be an athlete.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ups and downs, right? Like exactly like an athlete, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you have injuries as an athlete, and sometimes it's really painful as a startup or CEO. And so that is why I love it so much. And there is no day that is just, like the previous one. But challenges are a lot, particularly in hardware, because the complexity of the business, from cash management to operations to manufacturing, to potentially adjustments that you need to make to the device, requires a lot of discipline and also a deep knowledge of all the different functions of the business.
Yeah, and I think you also have really great customer service, and I think that's important to hear, and also for listeners, because I had a lot of questions and I didn't want to kind of bother anyone, and I got really great answers and help and support. So it's very important, to have all of those things. And what, in this process, where do you see, like, where have you had, I guess, the most sales, like, around the globe? Are you more in the US or Yeah,
the largest majority of our sales right now is in the US. We just started selling in Australia, UK, and Europe. So it makes sense they are still small, but obviously our presence and brand awareness is much stronger in the US, which I think will always be our probably strongest market. But it's also incredible how fast we are growing internationally, where we are not even doing, we're not spending anything in terms of marketing, and everything is just growing through word of mouth.
I feel like your marketing is very organic. I mean, I've seen some things now that I'm part of the ecosystem. What's your role? I mean, I know you're the CEO, but what are you doing? A little bit of everything? Like, where's your experience coming into play the most at the company?
Yeah, a couple of different areas. So I think that the number one, there are a couple of areas, right, that the CEO should be focused on. The first one is make sure that we agree on the North Stars. And so I set the bar, I set the pace and the priorities with my executives. The second is culture and people, right? So hiring, leading, and eventually, if needed, firing part of the executive team. But more than anything, growing that executive team and making sure we have the right culture. And the last one, in my case, I'm pretty obsessed with product. So I spend a lot of time on the product side to make sure that we deliver the best experience, the best possible experience. That's
great. And do you have a partner in the business, or it's you? I forget. You do, right? You have a partner in the business.
Yeah. We have three co-founders.
Okay.
And we started the company together originally, but now we have an executive team of 7 people, and then we are over 100 people as a business.
Where are you guys based?
We're fully remote, but then we also have offices in New York and San Francisco, but we literally have people from China to Brazil, Europe. So we are spread everywhere.
Is this your first company that you created?
No, it's the third one. I already had 2. I had one in Europe that got acquired, and the second one here in the US that did fairly well, and then I started 8 Sleep.
That's great. And where are you now? Are you able to work out? Are you training? Like, what workouts are you doing these days?
Yeah. I'm a fitness geek. I would call it a sort of biohacker, meaning I do everything from, obviously I take care of my sleep. I sleep a lot. I train every single day. Even today, I do heat and I do strength and flexibility and mobility. I usually fast at least 16 hours, but often I have 1 meal per day. I'm on a keto diet, and I try every product or service you can think of to optimize my body performance.
Yep, I feel like that. I do that too.
Yeah,
That's my MO. I love it. I'm totally geeking out on CGM stuff right now, but actually, I'm really excited and geeking out on the sleep data. That's my new sort of, I'm on a mission to raise the percent of my REM and deep sleep. And I'm a very light sleeper. So anybody wakes me up and they might die.
Yeah. So 2 tricks there. One very easy, and you should try to sleep 1 hour longer per day for a week. That is better than going on a vacation, and you will feel like a superhero. So just 1 hour more per day for a week, and then you tell me how you feel.
I will.
And this is the simple one. The other one, this is a bit more complicated, but is a game changer. If you have a sauna and a cold plunge, doing the sauna and cold plunge in the afternoon or right before bed is going to improve your deep sleep and your sleep quality overall.
Like do them consecutively, like do that. I have an infrared sauna blanket that I love, which is in lieu of a sauna.
Yeah.
And I don't have the ice tub yet. In New York City, I'm not allowed to bring in New York.
But do a very cold shower, which in New York City gets really cold in the winter. I know that well. And because it's really this thermal shock that you want to create. And so you do your sauna, you do the cold shower, you do another round if you have time or not. But this will help you improve your sleep
before bed.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Or late afternoon, if you want before dinner. Sometimes I do, I don't know, 6 p.m. over the weekend, or sometimes I do at 9:30 and then I go straight to bed.
That's awesome. I want to just ask you some last minute, like rapid fire questions. Do you have a favorite book, or are you reading anything right now that you might recommend?
Yeah, I have a lot of books that I really love. There are a couple. There is the story of Nike, Shoe Dog. There is the book of Johnny Ive from Apple, the former designer of Apple, and the story of Dyson, the brand that creates electric equipment for the house. All these brands that I really respect. The book of Elon Musk, and right now I'm reading Lift Off, which is the book about the story of SpaceX.
Oh, cool. Now, have you done any metaverse? Since you're talking about space, have you done anything in the metaverse? Like, do you have the Meta glasses or anything?
Not yet. I have an Oculus that I have used for a bit, but not yet. But I'm down whenever the technology is good enough, particularly for us that we work remotely. So more than virtual reality, I really like augmented reality. So wearing glasses where I can still see around me, but I see augmented variables or features.
And are you watching anything right now? Any good series or shows or movies?
The latest documentary on Madoff, Bernie Madoff, so the big Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, that was a good one. I watched that. Yeah. And where are you? Or do you have any travel lined up this year that is exciting that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I spend around 50% of my time traveling. So I really travel a lot. Even today, I'm in New York, but usually I'm based in Miami. I'm traveling to the Middle East soon for business, and then because of the partnership with F1, I also travel quite a bit to meet the drivers and the top management, and then I travel between New York and San Francisco because of our offices.
Wow, amazing. So how do you recover from travel with all that? How does your sleep recover from all the travel? Like, how do you get back into your cycle?
Yeah, when I travel between Miami and New York, that is awesome because it's the same time zone, right? That is very easy. When I go to San Francisco, that is the tricky one. And so I try to stay, particularly if I'm there just for a few days, to stay on the East time zone. So I wake up really, really early and I try to go to bed early. And then if you go in the Middle East or Europe, that's painful. It takes some time.
So you go to, is it Abu Dhabi that you go to for the Formula One? That's where they do
Bahrain. But
Awesome. This has been so much fun. Is there anything I didn't ask you about that we should talk about the pod covers? I mean, I really love the pod cover, and it has truly been game changing, and I highly recommend it. I love that you have within the app, like the ability for us to offer a code to people, to recommend the product. I mean, it's been really great. So I don't know if there's anything I didn't talk about that, you want to mention.
No, I think we cover most of the things, right? We spoke about the athletes and entrepreneurs that use it. The only other thing is because the device is Wi-Fi connected, the device keeps improving, right? So almost on a weekly basis, we release new features. And so you wake up that you have product X, but by the time you go to bed, the product is Y because it has new features. It's really like a Tesla where it keeps getting better every single day. The accuracy improves and all the features keep improving. What's
the biggest lesson you've learned through all of this? Like just some really great lesson that,
At the end of the day, it's all about people, right? It's very similar to sport. It's incredible. The right people, they're probably 100x a mediocre person. You can just agree with them or where we want to go, and they will just figure it out. While instead, mediocre people require a lot of attention and they deliver lower value at a slower pace.
Awesome. This has been great. Thank you so much. I can't wait to see like what you come up with, and I love the app. I'm in here looking at like all the data all the time. It's like my new morning routine. I wake up, I check this, and I check Garmin.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did I sleep? What can I do better?
We're going to release a new algo. So the accuracy will will become even better soon. And so you will keep seeing, we are going to release a new redesign of the metric page to make it easier to understand. We will merge the sleep and the health data in just one single tab. And that will happen very soon.